live now, and welcome back to New Realities. I am here with my good friend and partner in exploration, Nadi Hana, and we're going to be talking about, what will we be talking about? The future of humanity. I think that's sort of part of our discussion. So, so I put out the question to you, Nadi. Let's say we have disclosure. It's free energy. I mean, it's idealistic. Everyone's living in abundance. There's no one suffering. There's no more wars. There's no more homeless. There's no more starving. Everyone is taken care of. Then what? This is getting us to just a level playing field. You realize that this is exactly where we're supposed to have incarnated into, instead of like working our way uphill to get to that level playing field. So once we are there, which is the real, reason we've incarnated, I'm asking you, and I have an answer myself. What then? What do you think? So all your dreams are come true. You have everything you want. Then what, Nadi? Then what?
Oh, I'd have to really go into everything that I want. But you know what I really love about this question is, here we are navigating this split between a kind of a fear-based reality and then a love-based reality, unity consciousness, which is what you're talking about. Like, what does it actually look like? Mm-hmm. The question has two elements that fascinate me. One is the mental piece, like, what's it going to look like? What's the linear? How's it going to play out? But I really love the feeling piece. Like, we're going to talk about this, but we're like, the talking is intended to help create it, right? So we're talking about it, but I really love the intentioning. I love the feeling of like, what would it feel like to be living there, right? So that my answer is more that, because I don't know the details. I don't know what it's going to look like in terms of what kind of like wonderful, hard, just it's ecstatic. That existence would be ecstasy, right? So right. My sense is the feeling that I can generate in order to create that. And I really have a lot of excitement. I think a lot about Bashar, right? Like right. That excitement of what would it feel like to live in that harmony?
But let's say you already are living there. Let's say that is the baseline. Let's say that is like, wake up and, you're in that joy, you're in that peace, what do you do then every day? How do you function? What's your existence? What's your focus? Now that you have everything you want, what is it that you're really here to do? Because that, like I said before, is exactly how it's supposed to be, because I think we're tired of all that struggle and all that. It's supposed to be that when we come into this reality. Of course it's not, but when it is, and because when you go to the next step, you help to bring this step into manifestation, because you're already past this step. So what is it that you would do with yourself? And what is the reason? Other people, what would anyone do?
I know, there's a catch in the question, right? Because we are programmed about doing. I don't think that reality is about doing. And it's almost really hard for us to imagine, right?
Well, just imagine it, though. You can imagine it.
Well, okay, I will. You're asking the question because you've imagined it. So where do you go?
Are you asking me?
Yes, I'm putting it back on you, and then I'll jump in on that.
Well, I think we're talking about the purpose of incarnation into the physical form, and it's not to struggle. It's not to, deal with your issues growing up. I mean, that all happens, and that's great, and it's great to deal with. But imagine if all that was okay. You were okay with your past. Everyone loved themselves. Just imagine what free energy will do. People will no longer be enslaved to a fossil fuel industry where they have to, really be enslaved. I mean, they are enslaved to energy energy manipulators. So if that's all taken care of and you just wake up in the morning and you are free, I think we come here to really fulfill our mission. And you know what that is? It is to create. It is to be the artist. It's to be the manifester of new realities. It's to make known the unknown. It's to come in and activate the creative imagination and add more to existence by being creators, songwriters, film producers, dancers, storytellers, whatever your art form is. That this is the moment when all this future happens, that our true destiny as creators, manifestors, comes online. And a lot of people are living that way. Look at the great artists. They wake up in the morning. Of course, they may have struggled to get there, but they wake up in the morning, write a song, people love it. But this is what I call the flowering of humanity, the true purpose of incarnation. Because you know what being a creator does? It adds more emotion and feeling to existence. Were you going to write something down?
Yeah, I'm writing a bunch of stuff down. It's fascinating inquiry. I'm getting my ideas ready.
All right. Well, this is a thesis I've been thinking about, because really, we've come here for a reason. Yeah, it's not about doing, it's about being. But once you're being long enough, you want to do something. I mean, look at the people who are really successful. They are doing what they're doing, not for the money anymore. They're doing it because they are dancing with the creative imagination, creating more joy for other people. So imagine a planet where everyone was the creative artist in whatever art form. Could be teaching, it could be garbage collecting, it could be cooking, it could be things that we don't think are art. It's an art, This is how I think Bashar's society lives. They live in that moment of creative input every moment, all the time, because they're always following their highest excitement all the time. So this is really what I think we're all working for. It's not about ET's landing. It's great if they do, it's great if they don't, but it's about making peace with the incarnational experience. Are you okay there?
I am. I'm trying to get my plug wire with my toes, so it's a little bit awkward, but I have been successful. So, you know what?
That's your art form. That is an art form right there. Picking things up with your toes.
Yeah, that's one of my secret talents.
Okay, so what do you think of all that?
Well, I love hearing it, and what strikes me is you're as close as you're going to get in this lifetime.
No, don't do that. No,
what? No, that's just a compliment. Oh, come on.
I know, but I feel like I can get a lot closer than
I do too.
I am now. So, I mean, it may look that way to you, but I know, I know there's a lot. And a part of it is having fun creating to getting to that point. But, no, there's a lot more for me. I don't think we could judge another person. I could say you're as close to it as you'll get, but that's not true.
No, we said very different things there. I'm saying you're living that life. I don't think I said as close as you're going to get, because that's limiting. Okay. But anyway, when I hear you talking, it's interesting. I'm aware that when that we have very different interpretations, yours still has physical form. When I think about what we're going to do when we've all reached this beautiful unity consciousness and we're all in these love states, I lose physical form. I move into my light body. So it's really hard for me to think about applying in a like, okay, are you going to be an artist? Are we going to have regular lives? Because to me,
what if you didn't move into your light body? What if you stayed physical with all of that?
Well, okay. So then if we stayed physical, we just enter into this heart consciousness. And I would want to do what the Sasani would doing. I'd want to do what all of our very local neighbors are doing, which is to go out and help and emit love to either other civilizations or other solar systems that are needing to come into balance.
Okay. Can we do that? We can
Yeah.
do.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally. Because if you've got control of the gravitational fields, you've got interstellar travel, you can go anywhere. And then also you've got your awareness of your consciousness, which means you can thought jump to anywhere you want to be. I mean, this is what I mean. Like, these are advanced. That's where I go when I think about unity consciousness, when we've left the programming behind, when we've left the scarcity mentality. Like, we are radiant beings that can emanate our energy bodies far beyond this plane. See, so I'll bring it back into form.
I mean, you don't have to. It's all right. I'm just asking. I'm just trying to establish the fact that we're here to be creative. I think that's what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
And even if you're not physical, I mean, what's the difference? What is it? What do you do if you're not physical? What's your purpose? What do you enjoy doing if you're not physical? What is it you want to do?
I'd go make crop circles. I would go participate in that team.
Maybe that's what you're doing.
I am doing that. You and I are both doing that.
Okay.
That's part of why we're drawn to them, because we just want to connect with.
We're in that flow there.
Yeah.
But and you're creating crop circles for what reason? Let's say that's what you do.
Well, that's back to the helping civilizations, right? We are imprinting frequencies that can help.
But let's say civilization is at that level where they've got the message. And you don't, I mean, we're just playing. So just put it out.
I get it. But my brain stops with I go into, we almost can't imagine what that being state would be like.
You can imagine it. Imagine, go for it.
Well,
I'm imagining you cannot imagine it. Okay. That's what imagination is for. There's no such thing as you can't imagine. There's only imagination.
Okay.
Try it. Try to imagine. see if you can.
This is my best imagining is leaving physical form. You take a turn and then I'll have some inspiration.
Leaving physical. Okay, that's not hard to imagine. What about it? That's like, okay, you leave and then what? I'm just pushing you to keep pushing yourself to go beyond whatever box we've put ourselves in, not just you, all of us, me. So, okay, let's say you're not physical, then what?
Okay, so this is where a conversation is fun. That's my best idea right now. And I'm going to sit and percolate as you say what your imagination, say the next level of what your imagination would take you to. So we're artists, we're creating, where does the artistry go? Where does the creation go?
Creating music, creating paintings, creating films, and why we're creating is so we can feel more of the human experience. That's the bottom line for being creative. Like, did you ever listen to a song and realize that you are feeling something that the song activates and you didn't even know you were feeling it, but you were feeling it, and then the song comes on? Well, that's the amazing thing about creativity. It helps us feel more. So that's where I'm going with that whole thing. What's your art form? What would you like to do besides create crop circle? And maybe that's it.
That's it. But I would shift into a lot more light language. I would shift into
you can do that now.
I do. Yeah. I think what we're doing, Alan, is the close steps to what you're actually talking about, right? We're still.
Well, maybe you're living in that reality where, everything's taken care of and you are just doing your purpose here. Maybe you're already there.
I love that. That might be, yeah.
I mean,
Alan, you're the best. That's why I came here today, is to be reminded that, like.
Well, look at the life. You're in probably the most beautiful place in the world. Yeah. You have probably a very nice roof over your head.
Which is Sedona. Not everybody knows I'm in Sedona, Arizona.
And you have a great community.
Yeah.
And you're
I'm talking to you about the meaning of life, and I draw sacred geometry, and I talk about crop circles and multidimensionality.
You're living in that reality. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations to you as well. Wow, that is an exciting moment. See, that's so then there's an uplift in that. So we would go around collecting back to people the beautiful things that they have, and then there's that uplift. Are you saying that everybody's there at once? It's
no,
like there's nobody
what if
that
everyone was there at once? That is what my question is. What does the world look like when we are all there? The planet, everyone, no one's struggling, no one's suffering. You know, people choose to, of course, that's their issue, but
yeah. Now, what happens to like all of the damage and toxicity that humans have done? Because I think that part of our ascension process or evolution would be to heal the planet and really.
Yes, I'm saying, let's say that is healed. Let's say we go through that. Let's say that, and it brings us to this new place, right? Mm-hmm. Because we have to go through that because there is a lot of healing to do. Mm-hmm. So if that is all looked at, worked through, and then we're at, maybe it's called 5D. I don't know what people are calling 5D, whatever that is. But so let's say that's here. We're here. Let's say that.
Yeah.
What does the world look like?
Well, see, this is where you stay on planet and I go off. 1 square foot.
Sorry. Oh, why do you go off planet? This is the best time to be on planet.
See,
you don't need to go off planet when you're having fun.
This is where we differ. I think you enjoy this dimension more than I do. I think that
you don't like this dimension. This is a fantastic dimension. Really. Doesn't get, as Bashar says, it doesn't get any denser than this.
Nope.
So enjoy the density. He said this is the last chance for density. So enjoy the density. You know?
Yeah.
Someone says in the chat, I guess you could torment evil people if they weren't in their physical form. If you weren't in your physical form, I don't know about that.
That's not necessarily love consciousness. Yeah. Okay. Let me just, if you want me to, you're inviting me to be creative and to apply, what I think.
Whatever you want to be.
Well, I honestly think I've answered your question, but I would be going off planet, and that's hard for us. So if we are raising our vibration.
You want to go off planet. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, here's the thing is if we are raising our vibrational frequency, we're going to be able to play with the other civilizations. We're going to be able to meet Arcturians at that 5th dimension or higher. We're opening up to an entire galactic community. So yeah, I want to be on the ships. I want interstellar transport. I want to be able to go to the other galaxies. Here's the deal. I want to meet up with the different aspects of myself that I know exist right now simultaneously. I would go play. I would go contribute to the uplift of the consciousness of the universe. If we've got the trick down and we've done it here, let's go party, right? So I don't stay on planet. And I think that's where we differ in terms of applying.
You're getting off the planet, you're saying.
If everything's okay, let's go have fun with things that we haven't known.
All right, you can get off the planet. That's fine. You have a free pass.
Yeah! Awesome, thank you.
If that's what you want to do, I mean, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But you are, I guess you're saying, living your, not best, but you're living your highest excitement, right?
Highest excitement, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right now, you're living your highest excitement.
Yeah. And would you say that as well? I mean, where do you land with that?
I would say, yeah, everything I'm doing, I'm very excited about doing.
Yeah. Fabulous.
Even talking to you. Yes.
And, not to be shameless, but you put out a book even, right? Like you're not only just living your life, you're sharing that information.
Well, that's what we're here to do. We're here to share. That's my point.
Yeah.
You can live your highest excitement, but we're here to, we're all in this together. We're all here to share that excitement with each other.
Yeah.
Which is why you're talking about crop circles, right?
Right. But see, so sharing sharing that with each other, well, we're all there already in this new utopian reality of unity consciousness. So let's go elsewhere where people might not.
Or people are at an even more expanded level than we can imagine. Maybe that's what you're saying.
That sounds fun. But we'd all be getting together to help, to help other civilizations transform and get to what about done.
But my point is, and that's what I was really getting at, what about being like super creative? What, you take someone like Kamara, and she is like creating on a whole other level. That was just like, oh my God. That's where I think we're going to create on this whole other level of high imagination that expands human consciousness. That I think is our destiny. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah, I agree. And so then the question, so would you still be doing what you're doing? What would you be doing?
I think I'd still be doing traveling and talking and meeting and writing and no, actually I do want to make some more films. I do have some films in mind.
Right.
And that is probably the most creative thing you can do is be a film director, because you need to like be like a person setting up the frames, listening to the music, coaching the actors. I mean, it is a huge, very exciting I mean, I can't think of anything more creative. I mean, I've done it in short films, but doing something like that, or just writing a script where you imagine people, you're creating dialogue and all that. That's what I do want to do more of that. That for me is really exciting.
Yeah.
So,
well, but my question to you is, if we're coming online with our high dimensional capacities, if we don't have to waste any of our time on, survival, right? And we're up at that level where you're talking about, well, you're talking about traveling to go make films. Well, what if you could just teleport? Like, why do we need to travel? And then if you're talking about communicating certain images, we're just telepathing that. We're just totally thought blocking that to everybody. You would drop the 3D. You would drop the physicality of a film.
Right. I mean, yeah, you can do that, but you can, that's your art form, telepathing creative images into people's brains. That's your next level of excitement, right?
That would be your next level, right? You've got all these new psychic skills to apply.
Yeah. But I think there's something also about the physical.
You like the physical. I
like the physical. I like, Earth. It's one of my favorite planets. It's really a really great place to be. The human body, I think, is beautiful. I think this dimension has a lot going for it. It's been really underrated. Oh, that was my computer. But
it wouldn't have time. There'd be no time. It would not be 7 o'clock.
You wanted to have time. If you wanted to have time, you could have it.
Time is prison.
It's prison if you make it prison.
Oh, there's that.
No, it's like if you could make time evil, it'll be evil. But if you make time a limitation where you can flourish, then things happen in time, space. And so you can judge it any way you want, or you could not judge it and just work with whatever level you want to work with, Time isn't necessarily I think, was it Einstein that says time is to make sure not everything happens at once.
But everything does happen at once. Like, see, that's the thing is it's hard for us or we to explore what that complete uplift would look like, because the construct of time would dissolve and we would go into simultaneity and we would understand things at a new conceptual level that is hard for us to grok. So when you're talking about applying that consciousness to current tasks and goals, I think it would just break us into a completely new, not break, it would uplift us and, expose just levels of reality that we can barely conceive of right now. But I really, it's going to be hard for me to get out of the idea that time isn't a prison, because a lot of
but that's such a negative, excuse the word, belief system.
yeah,
I mean, that it's a prison. It's not wherever you go, whatever dimension, even if you're non-physical, it's like the sequence of experience is unfolding to build consciousness to greater capacity. So unless you've already transcended and you've resolved it and you're back at the place of non-existence, existence, not the Ein Sof, then time is a factor in which consciousness evolves its own reflection, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely to that. Maybe I'll shift up and say, you know, time is an illusion. So that illusion would dissolve. You know, if you talk about,
you can play with it. I mean, don't you think Bashar's community has time?
yeah, but that doesn't negate that it's an illusion.
Yeah. It's great that we know it's an illusion, right?
Well, I think in the up leveling of our consciousness into unity and heart-centeredness, I think you dissolve the construct of time because you're at a higher frequency.
But then what if you want to do something?
See, this is where we're blocked, right? What if you want to do something? Well, you just
no, I'm saying if you want to do something, you do it, right?
Yeah, that's where instant manifestation comes in. You know, if you have a vision, you could just have, I mean, I don't know that film and movies would still exist, right? You would just create this beautiful thought block that you could then instantly share with whoever you wanted to share it with.
Right.
Across time and space. Because time, yeah, it's tricky for us. Here's my closing thought, not closing, but my summation is that we would dissolve all of our current constructs and limitations. And so it's tricky for us to actually envision. It's tricky for me to envision what life would look like, because we would dissolve all constructs. We would dissolve the matrix.
Okay. But what if all constructs are dissolved? Then what do you do? What happens? Where are you? What do you do? How are you being? What is it that you are?
You go first. I've been talking.
Oh, well, I think, we are already there on some level. We're already beyond, we're already, our spirit, soul, whatever it is that we are is living in that place. And we've come into these levels of reality to play within the densities of time and space, and to give the soul that eternal part of ourselves the experience of this world of limitation. And that was a choice to come in and see. It's like, I don't know who said this, but it's like a painter painting the painting, but then they entered the painting. So you're saying, I want to get out of my painting, and you're already out of it. You are already the painter, but it's fun to be in the painting as well,
I think I'm gonna
but you don't have to say
that one, but let me say, I think you're actually saying the same thing that I'm saying, because if you're saying that we're all in that level of consciousness, and then we came down here to play in the painting, in part, we came down to be of service to humanity and the planet, right?
Yes.
That's it. We are higher evolved beings. We've come into a dense, impaired civilization to help out. So we're saying the same thing. We're just at different places.
But I'm also saying one civilization, you're saying, I think you're saying one civilization has helped out, then there's no reason to be here anymore, right? Is that what you're saying? I'm saying that's when the fun really starts.
Well, I think this is reflective of our personality differences. I think you have more fun in this painting. I take it very
come on. I want you to have fun. Come on.
No, I'm just saying, I think I'm a more serious cookie than you. I think you've gotten to a place where you're lighthearted and enjoy.
What are you serious about? What is it? What is it that's so, what's wrong with the painting?
Lots of people are dying at the hands of Lots of people are dying. Lots of people are suffering.
I know, and we're here to help. Of course,
torture.
I agree. I'm not saying that's like, oh, let's ignore that. I'm just hypothesizing beyond all that. But yes, we're here to help the situation as it's going on now.
Yeah.
But you can do it in a suffering way, or you could do it in a joyful way.
Right. I heard a great phrase yesterday. Does your suffering help their suffering? Right. Exactly. So. No, you don't. That's the point, is your suffering does not help anybody else's suffering. And I believe we came here to help alleviate some of that suffering. But when you ask me what's wrong with this place, I'm going to say, we've completely see that's you. That's what I'm saying.
And it's there's a lot wrong. I'm not disagreeing. There's a lot of people are suffering.
Yeah.
And we've probably
totally
suffering.
Tortured our planet. Like, we've completely raped, pillaged, and burned our planet. That in of itself, how we've treated our ecosystem, that's.
I know. And I think with free energy, we could change it around. Of course, there has to be a shift in consciousness. People have to realize that this is a beautiful paradise. It's not about greed and money and control and power. It's about love and sharing and helping each other. That's the moment we're in now. This moment of transition. And there's a lot of work to do. I'm totally agree.
Yeah. I'm
just going one step beyond that.
I know, future thinker. So here's what I think. Here's an answer. If we all up level to a real, we're everybody has enough, which is right now possible. I believe
it is possible to everyone. It is possible for everyone right now to have all the energy needs they want, all the food they want. It is possible. Of course,
it's been possible for a long time, but yes,
now I don't know why it's not happening, but it's so. Yeah, you're saying, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. So you're saying.
So by having this conversation, we're calling it into happening, right? That's why we're doing this. That's why
that is why we're doing it, and we're going beyond that. Yeah.
So part of what I think, if I was going to stay behind, and my hypothesis that there will be some sort of planetary light solar event where we are all activated. So some of us would stay on planet, some of us would leave. But I believe one thing that I've said is that we would be here to assist the planetary repair. The other thing is that we might only bump up to a fifth dimensional reality, right? Mm-hmm. If the free energy and we're all up and we're better, we still might only get to a fifth dimensional reality. We could still stay on planet and help the hybrids. We could help facilitate those,
If that's your highest excitement, to help other people.
Yeah.
I mean, is that your highest excitement, or are you leaving just to kind of play in some other cosmos where it's more fun?
Out of here before you could finish my name.
Really, Nadi Hana?
Oh,
really? You're out of here before we can finish. You're giving up on the human race.
Yeah.
That's your choice.
I know, man. I'm saying though, do you know who we are? I'm back up on the ship faster than you could name my armada.
You're already on the ship. I'm saying to you right now, you're on the ship, and this little avatar is an illusion, right?
Right.
So you're already there. You chose to be here now, so don't complain about being here.
I'm not complaining. I'm saying, if you give me the chance when we're all elevated to unity consciousness, hey, check that off the list. I'm going elsewhere.
All right, but why are you here now?
Wait, what? What are you
saying?
You're
here now to help, right? So you're saying once you achieve that mission, unity consciousness, you're going somewhere to do what?
I got things to do. Yeah, I mean, we're all part of galactic federations. We're all in conversation, but it's all okay, we've got Earth up to a place where it's off and running. Now we got to go to someplace else in the galaxy.
You're going to go to another. What if we didn't have to? What if there's another level where we're all vibing at, instead of helping people out of their 3D mentality consciousness, there's another level where we can exist in a realm, like maybe you said, it's beyond our imagination, but I think that's where maybe we're going, to the place where it's not just like helping another Earth civilization get over their self-pity and all that, and their wars and their whatever it is that people are dramatizing. What if there's another level of existence that's not just about that? It's about, and like you said in the beginning, it's hard to imagine, but that's why I want to really engage you and imagine that. Imagine how Bashar's people live, where every moment is synchronicity, you know, and no one's married to anyone else and everyone's just floating. And you know, and they are helping other civilizations. They are first contact specialists, but that's just a few of them. But everyone's, I think it's a level of vibration. And when we're at a level of vibration, the consciousness turns on and shows us more possibilities. I think that's why I'm saying to you, this is not a prison planet. It is a place where we are learning to modulate vibrations and create new realities. I think I could say that. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think I'd be way better off if I didn't have the perspective of a prison. And it's tricky because once you go down certain rabbit holes in terms of genetic modification of the human race, it is a powerful, position. So there's that belief. And then that's part of why I'm on this talk with you, is because I'm building the more positive, the more uplifting, the more hopeful perspective, right? It doesn't serve me to stay in believing that it's a prison planet. However,
saying it's a prison planet lowers your vibration, actually.
I'm with you.
So the idea here is to raise our vibration by saying, I mean, you could do whatever you want, but if it was by changing your point of view, really.
Yeah. I mean, there's no right or wrong. It's just like thoughts are energy. So if I'm going to focus on the fact that like we're totally cut off from our psychic powers and that kind of sucks, then I'm going to, no, don't let me finish. No, you got to let me finish. That was only half the story. Okay. So then vibrationally, if I focus on like, oh, we have access to that and we can uplift each other and we can have these conversations that envision us and get us towards that, that's where I'm hanging out. However, that doesn't negate the other reality. I'm actually stronger in my perspective in sharing with people that this higher vibe is possible if I acknowledge and I have hung out in the gnarly stuff.
I
because
understand.
You can't do it in denial. Okay.
We are all, the idea is that we've all been through the gnarly stuff. Yeah. We've all, I mean, and it's like, could there be a time where we're not in that as a planetary? So that was the hypothesis. Yes, and we can't ignore all the awful things and all the suffering. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, what does it look like when that is not on the table? You know, I want to get into that vibe and, like you say, help create it by envisioning it, right?
Yeah. Well, I think I'm giving you an annoying answer, which is to say that I think it's actually beyond our capacity to interpret, because
but this is where we want to play. We have to achieve that capacity.
Okay. Well, then here's my question to you. So once you're making these films, you're in this form, which is just much lighter. There's enough to go around. Nobody's got fear. You're making these films, you're creating, you're sharing these beautiful ideas. Who is receiving them and how are they being received?
Everyone's receiving, not just me, everyone is receiving everyone else's beautiful expression of emotion and art. Right. And everyone is in that space, you know, the mural painters and all that. It's not just me and you, it's the planet lives in that place of the creative imagination. And there are people who can imagine that place. I think what first came to mind was Geraldine. I think Geraldine Orozco is in a very high place, you know, and she lives in that space. And so there's many people in our community that are like that are living on that level. You know, JJ and Desiree, right? I mean, they are like functioning as a ascending beings in that place of going around. So I think if everyone was vibing at that frequency, this whole idea of being stuck here would shift.
Yeah, for sure. We wouldn't feel stuck. We would be happy to be here.
But you're not stuck. You're doing it, like you said before, you're doing everything you love to do. I think it's a mindset for you. What? Tell me. What?
Yeah. Okay. I really appreciate the reflection, because things are really sweet, no doubt. And where I'm up against is that I know myself and the true capacities that I have. I know myself as a telepath. And I'm not telepathic. I can't teleport. How about that?
And I know
I can't teleport.
You want to do that. You want to teleport. That would make your life much better, right?
Much more fun.
But would it make it better?
Yeah.
Because as Bashar says, it's not circumstances that matter. It's how you feel about the circumstances that matter. So, if you could teleport, it's great. I'm not knocking teleportation. I think it's great, but how would that make you happier?
Oh my God, I could reunite with all of my off-planet people. I could go up to my ship. I could meet come on, we got relatives.
You're doing that now, I think.
What was the design of our call today? Was it to remind us that we already are there in terms of we're talking about what we want?
Yes, I think
There's so much more, Alan. There's so much more.
I believe you. And I would love to sit down with you and a bunch of people and say, let's go beyond what we already know and activate the imagination about what we have yet to consider. We have to go beyond what we know. That's a project we should do, the Sedona project.
We are working on that. And it is called the Foundation Establishing the Crystal City. We're definitely doing that. It's a galactic hub here for people who are not, in agreement with consensus reality, essentially. That's my world. I can't assume all of Sedona is doing that, but
I think all of Sedona is the Crystal City.
It is the Crystal City, but we're strengthening a frequency. But the thing is, you definitely get more, you like it here. And that's really fun to see. I had
you don't like it here. Is that what you're saying? You're not,
that's not, it's not that. It's that I feel too aware of the hardship that's happening, the density of the third dimension.
I know, but it doesn't mean you have to lower your vibration just because you're aware of the hardship. It is make it harder. Yeah, you're suffering for others, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, you can't. That's the point, is you can't suffer for other people's suffering. It doesn't help them. You raising your vibration and imagining a utopian reality. That's, that's happy. That's hopeful. That's joyful. This is what I was going to say. So to go back to creating that panel of talking about how we're all, what our efforts are to create that new reality. The thing is we would all be sitting in our boxes and we would be silent and we would be emanating a love frequency. And that doesn't sell because we're not, we're not.
By selling, I don't get what that means. Doesn't sell.
Appealing. Like people.
It's not appealing to who? Who are you talking about?
Well, right. You're right. It would be appealing to some people because they could join in that heart frequency.
Well, yeah. Who's it not appealing to?
A lot of people, Alan.
Generating the heart frequency is not appealing to a lot of people.
Sitting in silence, communicating a frequency and uplifting the reality. If you're sitting on a Zoom call.
Who doesn't love that?
Alan.
I guess some people don't love it, okay?
Yeah. Okay. That's what I mean when it doesn't sell. Like people are programmed. But
that's because they don't know any better.
Right. And so we need words. We need the linear in order to help that bridging that connection. So sitting quietly in meditation and emanating a heart frequency, a loving frequency, that's where we want to get to, because in that you're also, you're communicating beyond linear time, beyond linear.
But we can do that. We're doing that. We're doing it now.
Yeah.
I think you're a little hard on yourself there, Nadi.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I bought into that program, but I'm
You don't have to
getting out.
buy. Don't buy into it. Buy out of it.
All right, now this is on you for a minute.
Okay.
So, okay. So you've created your book, you're creating your films, you're sharing love and reality. What else what more? What else would you be doing in
That's
terms
a
of
good question.
Yeah.
That's great. No, I appreciate you. And I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I think, there's just possibility available for creativity, art, painting, music,
Yeah.
the sense of feeling more, the joy of adventure, everything that we want to create is now possible in that space, I'm saying.
Yeah. You didn't put me on the spot. I don't mind. I feel like an absolutely transparent person. And I know that anytime I'm talking about pain or anxiety or suffering, I'm speaking and I'm connected to a lot of people that are having that experience and I'm representing that. So that always feels important to speak of the.
Do you see a way where they don't need to do that? Or do you feel like, is it a self-imposed anxiety? I mean, yes, they might have situations and problems, but is the anxiety, can they handle it a different way, as Bashar would say?
Yes. And there's not a ton of promoted programming to support them doing that. So yes, you can. And we're up against kind of an onslaught of challenging the ability to do that.
Well, there's just that trauma series on.
Yeah, trauma. Yeah.
Which was great. Gabor Mata. There are people who are really focusing on how to help people out of their suffering. And I think that, of course, has to happen. And I think trauma is at the root of so much suffering. Because sometimes if you're traumatized, you don't even know that you're traumatized. You're just reacting, creating more suffering. So
yeah, you could argue that this entire incarnation is just based in trauma. I mean, I spent 10 years as a psychotherapist. I have seen and sat with.
But it doesn't have to. I mean, this incarnation, I'm saying it is. And just imagine a time where that's not what incarnation is about.
Yeah.
We've learned the lessons of trauma and suffering.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Well, that's the basis of our conversation. And absolutely, I'm excited for that.
Okay. I'm excited that you're excited for it too.
Yeah. Did you answer my question though? I might have hijacked the answer. Did you what more would you be doing in terms of?
I think, feeling the joy, feeling the bliss, being aware of levels and levels of reality, seeing how the whole matrix and super matrix and, fits together. And also creating, which is I do now on one level, creating more connections for things. Yeah. And just, finding a way to make it all better, keep improving. Marshall Rosenberg, nonviolent communication. Oh, yeah. He would never complain. He says, never complain about something. Just say, how could life be more wonderful? Look for that, And that, if you remember that everything is in a way perfect for what it is, how can life be more wonderful? Then you're not looking for the problem. You're looking for your next level of excitement.
So we're all living in our next level of excitement, where we don't even have to ask the question of how could life be more wonderful, because this is how life could be more wonderful. Then you're sitting in that state of bliss, which is what you're talking about. And then what do you're sharing?
Then what do you do in that state of bliss, right?
Right. So
yeah. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish what you're saying. Finish what you were saying.
Well, are there different levels of bliss where some folks might be like, oh my God, what is this? Like they might not even know. So on this planet, you could still go around and help anyone who may not have been able to, anyone really in the throes of trauma and.
Yeah, there's the plane of bliss. That's one incarnational level. And people are there like after graduating from the earth plane because they want to be in bliss. But then beyond the plane, that's only a one level, the plane of bliss, then you're off creating universes, creating civilizations, creating new emotions, creating new expressions. You're making known the unknown, which is what my teacher said is the purpose for, you know who my teacher was back then?
Ramtha.
Ramtha said, we're here, and I think here is to make known the unknown. And I never forgot that. And that's been my calling card. How do we bring more unknown? How do we bring something unknown into this reality, whatever that is? Because it's always unknown. That house you're sitting in was not in existence before someone decided to build it. So that's part of bringing in the unknown into the known. And that's what I'm saying is really the purpose of incarnation, making known the unknown on whatever level you could do it, building, creating crop circles, putting on that necklace there. You've just created the unknown.
Right.
Is that Nassim's arc? No.
Yeah, this is the art crystal. Yeah, this is, the harmonizing and the resonance.
Do you feel something from it? Do you feel something from it?
Absolutely. It's interesting. I have something to say about what you just said. However,
okay, yeah, say that. Yeah.
I'll finish this thought first.
Yeah.
Which the best way I can describe this technology is that it feels like a hug. And it is so non-technical, but it's like this, my system just comes into alignment, and that feels.
But what about that level of creativity? Imagine creating a thing that felt like a hug. That's an incredible creative act.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Nobody's denying that. And that was actually formed.
I know no one's denying it, but I think it's a higher form of creativity. And what were you going to say about what I just said?
Okay. What I was going to say is that I think we've come full circle, and you're actually agreeing with me when you talk about different level of bliss states, right? Like here we've got this one. If we jump to unity consciousness where everybody's abundant, that would be one bliss state. And then if I heard you right, the next thing would be that there's different levels of bliss where you would go out into the universe and accessing
that's not exactly what I said. I said you take the bliss with you, but you don't just stay, you create from that bliss level. So it's like, yes, of course you're in bliss, but you create from the joy of creating because that's more bliss. But it's about, for me, maybe it's more bliss for you. For me, it's more creating for me. So I think that's where we differ. A bliss is already here. We already are in bliss. Don't you think so? No.
Yeah. And I think, no, I do. And there's relative states, right? And that's
there's ultimate bliss. Yes.
But the fun part is we've recorded this and we can go back. And I know you agreed with me. I know you fundamentally said the same thing I'm saying, which is that, yes, we would evolve to a bliss state. And as we built on that and had our creative expression on that bliss state, and you could say bliss state dimension, same thing.
I think you're hearing what you want to hear. I'm saying that's just one level. We go beyond to really be the gods of the universe, let's put it that way, which is taking bliss and creating more unknown possibilities.
On this planet or off?
Everywhere, on and off and beyond and interdimensionally and, multi-dimensionally universes. And, there's no limit to possibilities. Is there? It can't be.
No, I mean, I don't think so, but it's no.
On this planet for sure and off this planet.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we agree.
I think we agree. We just have different, it's semantics, but I think that I feel I let the limitation of the human consciousness get in my way of really going for the idea of bliss.
And then why do you do that?
I think we're out of time.
But you said time. You're the one that said.
It's true.
You see, so you use time to your advantage then. Okay, good.
Right. Well, I honestly, though, we do have to finish up, but I will ponder the question of why do I do that? Because, in general, it's programming, but I'm getting free.
But you're free right now. You know that.
Free right now. And we are talking about freedom, and we're like
Out of
sharing
the-
the idea of freedom and the uplift of freedom and bliss.
And the prison of time has just put those handcuffs on you. Okay.
We're not going to finish on that. No.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Something. Let's just, okay. So let's finish on like either a reiteration or some
Right. Thank
encompassing
you.
statement that you would say about where we are for in total abundance and what that would look like.
No, I think what we can all envision is a time where we are in bliss and we are doing everything we love, and there is a love frequency permeating throughout the planet, and people are inspired to add to creation. You see, that's where I go, to add to and create things that have never been imagined before. And let's imagine the unimaginable. And that's exciting, because we don't know what that would be.
Because we don't know. We don't know. And I love you, and I love this conversation, and I know that it's contributing to somebody being excited about something, even though we don't know what. It's
contributing to me. I hope you're excited a little bit.
Great. It was great. Yeah.
Someone says, this is a juicy and wonderful conversation. I love it. We will all ponder these things. The potentials are unlimited and exciting. Okay. Thanks, JM Dis 9.
That's a fun conversation. That's awesome. See there, right there. That's why we did it.
Well, I think I did it because I just like to throw that question out to people and just have us all tune into that, whatever level we do. And you've helped me see more to that. So thank you.
Likewise. And
I hope the conversation was everything you wanted it to be.
It was just spending time with you and having an uplifting conversation. And I'm at another level. This is another bliss state just because we got to do this. So you're so great, inspiring these conversations with everybody.
And tomorrow, are you going to be on a conversation tomorrow night?
What's tomorrow? What are we talking about?
ET Roundtable tomorrow.
Oh, you moved it to Thursday? Nope.
Yes.
Okay. What day is it? No time. There's no such thing as time. So it's Wednesday. So tomorrow's Thursday. So what time?
5 p.m. Eastern.
5 p.m. Eastern. Okay. And you and I will continue to talk about crop circles and the hybrid program.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, wait, I should put in a little something about how anybody could reach me if they wanted to, right?
Yes. Put in a little something about that.
Yeah, because I love this kind of conversation. And my website is galacticrosegeometry.com. And I have a YouTube channel with a bunch of Alan's panels and a bunch of really amazing interviews with people at Galactic Rose Geometry. I don't know if you enter that in YouTube, you'll find it.
Great. And that is a great Merkaba beside you there, right?
Merkaba's in there. This is Metatron's cube. It's got everything. And that's one of the things is I teach people how to draw sacred geometry so you can access all this intelligence.
And do you enjoy that?
Oh, come on.
I know that is your mission. Of course you enjoy it. That is what you're here to do.
Of course, he brings it all home. There it is. Yeah.
No, because you're doing what you love to do, which is teach people the fabric of creation with sacred geometry.
Yeah. All right. You're right.
All right. Thank you. I know you got to go. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for watching. Same time tomorrow we'll be here talking about ETs and